To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Lockhart Perspective. Helping you along the way. Helping you to make it through another day. Yeah. Everything you need to know that you never knew, that you need to know. Lockhart Perspective.
I've always been a unique person, you know what I mean? Sort of laid back in a way, but very adamant and very passionate about what I believe. I think a lot of times that sort of throws people off because they don't expect me to have the mindset or the process of thought that I do. And so when you come in to watch my channel, you may hear a myriad of thoughts and ideas that could be different from others. What I want you to do is just sit back, like, share, and subscribe. Well, hey, good morning. It's so good to see everybody, or to be seen, or to however we want to say it, early in the morning. But I'm sure that you guys know that AI is doing a lot of stuff. But I'm not sure to what extent we really do get it. Um I think that hey, good morning, Sister Joy. I think that most of the time we just think, well, yeah, it could have its own mind one day, but we're nowhere near that. How about the fact that we literally have um, patents that they've actually made? And that's what we're going to look at today. We're going to look at some of the discoveries that AI has formed, discoveries, and how abnormal it really is. What I say, how abnormal it really is. It's abnormal to me. It is. So the first thing we're going to look at right here as we share our screen with one another is our original story that we're looking at today. Look at that. Artificial intelligence is breaking the patent law. Who knew? Who knew? Let's get into this. I'm going to make it bigger for you guys so you guys can see it. And then we're going to talk about it. You know, I like to take everything to the biblical piece uh, because to me, you cannot look at any of the end time deals and stuff that we're dealing with without looking at the biblical part of it all. I need you guys to tell me if my sound is 5x5. One of my grands touched the buttons over here, and I hope that it's fine. Hope that you guys can hear well. Hello to my sister Onyx Monopoly. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome this morning, my precious dear. Angela Reed, it's so good to see you. And Melvin Thomas, his mercies are new even this morning. Help yourself. And thank you for telling me that it is 5x5. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so let's just get right into this because I think, thank you very much, Melvin. I think the deal is that a lot of folks don't really get that the end time eschatology that we know of and that we read about in the Bible, for example, and then really any great books, all of the great books all tell about, you know, the end and the destruction and the things that'll happen and how the world will cease to exist that we know. And then, you know, a lot of them talk about this. But this AI stuff, I think, has been calling us for quite some time. So let's take a look at the entire screen so that we can get into it, because after this, we're going to delve into another story. So, artificial intelligence is breaking patent law. The patent system assumes that inventors are human. Inventions devised by machines require their own intellectual property law and international treaty. The story was published out on, I think it was the 24 May 2022. All right. The link to this article is down below in the description. In 2020, a machine learning algorithm helped researchers to develop a potent antibiotic that works against many pathogens. Artificial intelligence is also being used to aid vaccine development, drug research or drug design, materials discovery, science technology, and ship designs. Within a few years, numerous inventions could involve AI. This is creating one of the biggest threats patent systems have faced. Patent law is based on the assumption that inventors are human. It currently struggles to deal with an inventor that is a machine. Courts around the world are wrestling with this problem now as patent applications naming AI systems as the inventor, and they have been lodged in more than 100 countries. Several groups are conducting public consultations on AI and intellectual property (IP) law, including in the United States, United Kingdom, and Europe. If courts and governments decide that AI inventions cannot be patented, the implications could be huge. Funders and businesses would be less incentivized to pursue useful research using AI inventors when a return on their investment could be limited. Society could miss out on the development of worthwhile and life saving inventions. Rather than forcing old patent laws to accommodate new technology, we propose that national governments design bespoke IP law, AIIP, that protects AI generated inventions. Nations should also create an international treaty to ensure that these laws followed standardized principles and that any disputes can be resolved efficiently. Researchers need to inform both steps. Now, who, not what? Machines are able to invent, and they were not consideration under the consideration of the drafters of the world's first patent legislation, the Venetian Patent Statute of 1474, nor were they contemplated in 1883 in the Paris Convention for Protection of Industrial Property, which is established and which actually established the foundations of international patent system. And even by 1994, AI generated inventions were still almost unheard of when the World Trade Organization finalized its agreement on trade related aspects of intellectual property rights, or TRIPS for short. The 1883 and the 1994 treaties mandate international patent standards today. TRIPS agreement protects any inventions, whether products or processes, in all fields of technology, provided they are new, involved, an inventive step, and are capable of industrial application. Its wording, inventions, or new or inventive step, and capable of industrial application, are terms of art, each with a legal definition. In essence, an object is not patentable if any of these requirements are not met. Now, new technologies have challenged the system before. High profile cases have tested whether genetic sequencing, human made living organisms, please listen to this portion very carefully, very carefully. Take a sip of coffee if you need to, because this right here is really where I'm headed with this whole conversation. The whole entire conversation. Sister, sister, I love you. Thank you. I just came back on this side of the screen Thank you, my precious. Thank you. So, this is really, really what I wanted to chat about right here, because this is the conversation that was being had over the past couple of years, and people really didn't have anywhere to point or touch or feel the fingers. You know what I mean? Take the fingers and just touch it. Here it goes. New technologies have challenged the system before. High profile cases have tested whether genetic sequences, human made living organisms, and other objects could be patented. The central legal question in these cases was whether they were inventions at all. Example, after years long court battle between the United States Association of Molecular Pathology, among others, and molecular diagnostics from Myriad Genetics in Salt Lake City, Utah, the United States Supreme Court concluded in 2013 that isolated human gene sequences were unpatentable because genetic information is a product of nature rather than a human invention. Inventions generated by AI challenge the patent system in a new way, because the issue is about who did the inventing rather than what was invented. The first and most pressing question that patent registration offices have faced with such inventions has been whether the inventor has to be human. If not, one fear is that AI might soon be so prolific that their inventions could overwhelm the patent system with applications. Another challenge is even more fundamental than that. An inventive step occurs when an invention is deemed non obvious. So we're going to look at the person part right here, right? When it's deemed non obvious to a person skilled in art. This notational person has the average level of skill and general knowledge of ordinary expert in the relevant technical field. And if a patent examiner concludes that the invention has not would not have been obvious to the hypothetical person, then the invention is a step closer to being patented. Get this. But if AIs become more knowledgeable and skilled than all people in the field, it is unclear how a human patent examiner could assess whether an AI's invention was obvious. An AI system built to review all information published about an era of technology before it invents would possess a much larger body of knowledge than any human could. Assessed against all knowledge, almost everything would seem obvious, even if everyone has accessed to such AI tools in the future. Then the inventive step, the criterion of patentability, would be close to impossible to achieve, and almost nothing would be patentable. The complete rethink would be required. Now, how do you test it? How do they work it out? Well, these issues have been brought into focus by an AI system called DABUS, the device for the autonomous bootstrapping of unified sentience, created by Stephen Thaler, the president and chief executive of the US based AI firm Imagination Engines. Now, Thaler claims that Davos invented a new type of food container and a flashing light for attracting attention in emergencies. The inventions are not remarkable. The fallout from this in 2018, Theller's international legal team, led by academic Ryan Abbott at the University of Surrey and Guildford, UK, started submitting applications to the Patent Office around the world, naming Dabus as the inventor. These cases are thought to be the first to test whether an AI system can be recognized as an inventor under existing laws. Patent offices and courts have had to rule on this question and have started to flag gaps in the law. Now, patent registration offices have so far rejected the application in the United Kingdom, the United States, and Europe, in both the European Patent Office and Germany, South Korea, Taiwan, New Zealand, and Australia. Challenges to these decisions have, for the most part, failed, the courts concluding that inventors are presumed to be human. In Germany, a court accepted the inventions could potentially be patented if Theller was named as the inventor who prompted Davos to create the inventions, a compromise that acknowledged the AI system's input. But at this point, the tide of judicial opinion is running almost entirely against recognizing AI systems as inventors for patent purposes. The absence of clear laws setting how to assess AI generated inventions, patent registries, and judges currently have to interpret and apply existing laws as best they can. This is far from ideal. It would be better for governments to create legislation explicitly tailored to AI inventiveness. We propose 3 steps to achieving this goal. I'm going to come back over here and check on you guys for a second before we go to listen and learn. Hello, Rage Against the Machine. So, Tammy S., hey girl, how you doing today? It's good to see you. Good to see you. So, what do you guys think so far? To me, it just sounds like they're rolling this out. It sounds like they're rolling this out right now just so that they can get us on the line when they do decide to roll it out completely. I want to tell you the next story that we're going to read talks to you about a few other things. But who remembers just recently when we did the covering of when we covered all of the stories about AI and some of the inventions that they had done, especially in the medical field? It's absolutely astounding, right? Well, listen and learn. The first national governments and multilateral bodies involved in patent policy, such as the World Trade Organization, should undertake a systematic investigation of the issues, evidence, and viewpoints. Hold on, let me put the pipe music on. We got to have a pipe music. Just a bitty bit. Just a itty bit. Okay, and I'm going to change the direction of my mic so that way you guys aren't hearing it again. All right, so let's go ahead and listen to the rest of this. So they should consult stakeholders, including patent registration offices, professional bodies that represent scientists and engineers, consumer and patent advocacy groups, bodies for business development and commercialization, and professional and IP law. Previous inquiries of this nature have led to changes in many countries. IP laws in response to the development of the internet and the digital economy. For example, the Australian government's public consultations on the online piracy during 2014 and 2018 resulted in laws that allow courts to block access to the websites that infringe copyright. Now, several other countries have already begun preliminary investigations of this kind relating to AI generated inventions, as has the European Union and the World Intellectual Property Organization. This is a good start, and one that patent systems in every jurisdiction should emulate. These inquiries must go back to the basics and assess whether protecting AI generated inventions as IP incentives the production of useful invention for society as it does for other patentable goods. Programmers of AI systems can already obtain some IP protection throughout copyright in the computer code and patents over the functionality of the software they write. Some people, for political or pragmatic reasons, might prefer to leave the output of AI generated inventions in the public domain, free for all to use. Now, I like that idea. Others are calling for IP protection to be extended. I like the idea of having it in the public domain. I really do. Because to me, what's going to happen is as this thing gets bigger and bigger and people don't have an answer for who it belongs to, this can cause major issues. I see major wars over it, conversations. This company going in, stealing it, saying that they did it first. Somebody else using a more stronger AI generated app to go back in and change the dates and times of something. And then all of a sudden, now it's not your date. Look at my date. My date was before your date. Well, no, we did it on this day. See, here's our findings. Court battle after court battle. And that's what I think. So, yeah, keep everything that's created by this non human being thing in the public domain and allow everybody to use it as they need it. Why not? But you see, that's not going to happen because we had public domain a long time ago over fruits and vegetables. We had public domain over a head of lettuce. We had public domain over crops of corn. We had public domain, okay, over our air, over the water, being able to fish without a license. We had public domain once upon a time. And so the reason why I feel the way that I do is because I already know that this is going to be something that they are going to just completely sweep to the side as far as public domain is concerned. They're not going to go that direction. It's a great novel idea. It's new and inventive, this idea, okay, to allow something to be brought into this sphere where everybody could touch it and feel it and use it if need be. But the greed that is not going to allow it. So they can do it one of two ways to satisfy me. They can get rid of it altogether, which we know will never happen because this is a part of the beast system. Or they could make sure that they allow the individual who created the software or the AI, allow them to get the credit. You know what I mean? Allow them to get the credit. Yeah. Make it public, right, Rusty? Onyx says, right. Yeah. Just give it to everybody. So Jade Helm 15, conquering the human domain. So it's like the hack, right? It's like a hack. It's like a hack. So I think that's the way that it should be. And if I were in charge, hey Shaq, morning, brother. Daryl Calhoun, morning. You know what I'm saying? That I think that will be a great way. But this to me is a precursor to what's going on. This to me is like the Eat at Joe's sign that's flashing to let you know that their fries are hot and ready right now. This is the hey, come on in. RPN Nomad, did I look into the quantum tech yet? You know how goofy I am. I could have already covered quantum tech and not know it by that name. You know how I get. Okay? So let's go ahead. So AI IP law, tinkering with existing legal protections, risk levying gray areas. So more comprehensive law reform is preferable. An ideal solution would be for governments to design a bespoke form of IP known as now sui generis law. Such custom-built laws are designed to cover types of created output not addressed by the Big Four IP doctrines of copyright, industrial designs, trademark, and patents. They already incentivize and protect investments in circuit layouts, new varieties of plants, in some jurisdictions' databases. Some critics might object to the mushrooming of the topic of specific form of IP, but a distinct AI IP doctrine has the advantage that it could be tailored to meet the specific conditions in which AI creativity occurs. For example, lawmakers might decide that if AI IP is easier and faster to develop, then it should be protected for a shorter period of time, shorter period than conventional 20-year term of standard patents. Well, this would encourage others to build on inventions as the patent term expires. Well, that makes good sense. And whereas patents are typically awarded to the inventor, lawmakers could decide to distribute the rewards from AI-generated inventions differently. perhaps between the AI developer and the person directing the AI and the owner of the data used to train it. Boy, we're going to make billionaires out of everybody. I hope they get a handle on this, because I can see this, where you got human ego and you've got human situations, it just does not end well. It does not end well. Countries where AIIP is put into place would be likely to attract investment in research and development. Okay. But on the flip side, royalties attached to the use of an innovation could make it less available. The same situation occurs today with drugs, vaccines, patents can attract the investment that allows them to be developed. But people lose out in countries that are unable to afford the products. Well, to me, I don't really look at that. Listen, I believe that a lot of times when we start having that conversation is where we begin to break it down and break it down. And as we break stuff down, then it becomes on the smallest level, a socialist situation. Whenever we begin to say, well, there'll be this person who can't afford it, or there'll be that person that can't afford it, or there'll be this country that can't do it, and there'll be that country that can't do it. And then what happens? Then you get some country from the West. I'm not going to say any U.S. names, but you get some countries from the West that then want to go in and help these other countries and tell them how to do this or that, or test out certain things dealing with this AI there as opposed to here. Case in point, who remembers what happened with the MasterCard just recently? That MasterCard deal was rolled out, and I forget which country on the continent of Africa, but it was rolled out and everybody and their mama got that MasterCard. But it also had all of their medical information, everything that had anything to do with them on that one card by itself. I'm going to come back on this side and take a look. If you remember that happening, please give me a 1 in the chat, because that's what they did. They took that technology and then they ran over to test it out over there to see exactly what's going to happen. Why? Well, because we got to help the poor people over in Africa. That was the mindset. We've got to give them everything. They're going to need it. When all they had to do was just leave them alone. You remember that, Joy. Rage Against the Machine remembers it. But that was some technology that they were testing out, right? It may not necessarily be that it's on this level of an invention, but most assuredly somebody invented the card. And I know that it was Bill Gates. I believe it was Gates. Because it was the chip and they were running around showing it and everybody was smiling with it on the side like, yeah. Okay? And then that thing is going to be rolled out elsewhere. But they always want to say, well, you know what? There'll be less developed countries. And so that to me is another rolling out of the tide. Hey, M. Leslie, that's another rolling out of the red carpet to say, here you go. I think that's it, Daryl. Yes. You guys see Daryl here. Daryl Calhoun says Nigeria. Yes, I believe that's it. Do they have any information on there? I believe they do. It's like personal information as well as finances. Right, Daryl? That are on that card? I think so. Yeah. B. Borrowed says, we're all born to live and to die. These people want to live forever. Bionic Woman and the $6 Million Man. I used to want to be the Bionic Woman. I used to think she was so cool. You know, she could do all that and run really fast. That was really cool. Those are back in the days. Yeah, but I think that's who it is. I think that's Nigeria. So I just really, when I look at this kind of stuff, it just makes me wonder, at what point are we ever going to stop? And are we going to stop? Who knows? So it says the same situation, we're going to go back, double up. Let me double back. The same situation occurs today with drugs, vaccines. Patents can attract the investment that allows them to be developed, but people lose out in countries that are unable to afford the products or unable to pay royalties to manufacture them. Frankly, if you had left Africa alone, as a matter of fact, it would have been absolutely okay. It wouldn't have had a problem. You know what? And I know I'm about to veer, but I don't care. Y'all know me. This is our coffee time. Okay? And I got my bottle of water during our coffee time. I'm about to say it. I think I have just about had it with every time you turn around, we go into other countries, other continents, and tell them, oh my goodness, look at you. You are so primitive. You need to be stressed out and on you need to be stressed out and popping antidepressants like a Pez dispenser, like us in the United States. What's the matter with you? You guys are far too halcyon. What is that? Is that a real banana tree? Is that a real banana? The little seeds that are in the center of that banana, is that real? You mean to tell me you guys have not stepped up? Oh, you are so primitive. There's little seeds in their bananas. What's this? A papaya? Whoever saw a papaya this size? Oh my goodness, what is that, fish? Please. Wait a minute. How come the fish doesn't smell bad? And how come it's not slippery? We go into other countries and we try to tell everybody how to rock. And then everybody has to look like us. A bunch of people who are completely neurotic. We can't take it anymore. We're so worried about the bills. We go from one bill to the next bill. We go get a paycheck, and then you get a paycheck, and then after you get the paycheck, now you got to see if there's enough for it to be spread apart. But we are the ones who are we're cutting edge. We're dignified. When the person that's living in the bush in Africa has more peace of mind than we do, if they had left them alone. All the natural resources, to include all the water that is actually in Africa. There is water. Okay, there is. All right. To all of the gold and all of the iron and all of the iron ore and the everything you could think of is there. If we had just left them alone, they would have been absolutely okay. But of course, the queen. Oh yes, the queen. The queen. Must handle everybody. All of us. And it's a darn shame. But these types of questions lead people like Gates and others to go into other countries and give their children medication against a disease that they created on the back end and tested out over there. But to show you how greedy people can be, even though he was kicked out of, say, example, India. Do you know that he still has a hand in India? Why? Because the money, the love of the money, is what has allowed the people in that government to be so corrupt, so very corrupt. And it's the same here. This is the reason why we truly and honestly can be considered a third world country here in a minute. Unfortunately. If you can go in the streets of San Francisco and walk over bodies and see people literally shooting up and see, down the street, the next attraction is tent cities and all of the other thing. You go down the road here a little bit of a ways, then you got some pockets where people are doing okay. But your standard average American can't even afford to live in some of our major cities right now. Los Angeles rents, Los Angeles homeowner pricing, New York, Chicago. Some regular folks can't even afford to live in some ghettos right now. So yes, the West does attempt to try to be the hero for everybody. And like you guys always hear me say, I think we need a U.S. to save us from some of the destruction that has been exacted on the people, on its citizenry, most assuredly. So it goes on here to say that a country that tends to import inventions might see benefits in not protecting AI-generated ones. It could then provide its population with cheap copies of an expensive new drug that an AI had invented elsewhere, instead of paying royalties. However, it might also miss out on attracting industry building investment. Patent treaties address this free rider program or free rider problem. Free rider problem. The TRIPS agreement was set up partly to make it more difficult for countries to opt out of providing IP protection in the form of patents. International conventions also govern the use of designs, trademarks, copyrights, and various other areas of IP. We think that an international treaty is essential for AI generated inventions too. It would set up uniform principles to protect AI generated inventions in the multiple jurisdictions. So multiple things. Do you see how everything is going to AI? Everything though. How can we make this easier for AI? I don't know. Maybe we should give it a multiple jurisdiction invention patent. Maybe we should take it there. Maybe we should give it a uniform way to protect the AI generated inventions. Never mind the stuff that you and your daddy now made in a garage that somebody tiptoed and took over across the water, and now they making it. Never mind all of the intellectual property that engineers and people that work for different companies have that actually, obviously, because it's work for hire, goes to the company. Never mind the fact you want to impress me. Fix that. Okay, you hired me to do X, but if I create something for you, then I need to be able to get my props. Work for hire, yeah, I get that, but I need half. Fix that first. Fix that. Because if you create something, and I've created things for companies, and I had to walk away and see it in the rearview mirror, it ain't mine. They paid me a salary, and whilst receiving the said salary, I created something, and I left it there. So if you want to impress me, if you're so concerned about fair and equitable tactics, fix that. Right? Fix it. Because, there were even arguments about people who created something while at a company, even if they did it in their house. Well, no, you were working for us and it's in the same field, so where do we back the truck up to take our new invention? Establishing such a treaty would be ambitious. An ambitious long-term plan, and critics could object to nations relinquishing the freedom of domestic policy about AI-generated inventions, especially when the full potential of AI is still unclear. We feel that the global benefits of an international agreement would make the time and cost of negotiating make it worthwhile, because it would avoid uncertainties and disputes down the line. An AI IP treaty should also avoid a key limitation for the patent system. Patents are registered separately in each jurisdiction, and enforcement disputes must normally be resolved by the legal system of the country of registration. This can result in patent holders running similar legal cases in many countries, as when the technology firm Apple and Samsung spent 7 years battling more than 50 lawsuits about phone and tablet designs and functionality. Cumbersome and expensive, this system means that some people cannot afford to enforce or defend their rights under patent law. Instead, an AI IP treaty could include dispute resolution mechanisms, perhaps adjudicated by a specialist international court. I just see I don't know, I guess because we got so many big international conglomerates and international companies peering in and doing so much stuff, I have no faith in anything that's going to be looked at by specialists in international courts and stuff like that, because they can be purchased. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, anyone? They can be purchased. They're purchasable. They can do what you tell them to do. If you got enough money, that person can slant either direction. You see what they've done? They painted themselves into a corner with all of the convenience of technology, with all of it. Creating bespoke law and an international treaty will not be easy, but not creating them would be worse. AI is changing the way that science is done and inventions are made. We need fit for purpose IP law to ensure it serves the public good. All of the references for this article are down below in the production notes as well. You'll be able to go inside the story, click, read the attributions. Everybody who attributed anything to the story is here under the reference tab. I want to take you guys to the topic of all of your information and all of your food and everything and all of your everything being being in one place. Let me go on ahead and bring this up for you because I want to see if you guys remember this, which I know you do. You guys are so brilliant. You remember everything. Hold on. We really need to get over here and start to looking at some more of the stuff too that I'm mentioning here. All right, videos. Come on, Felicia. Where are they, Felicia? There it is. This is the one. Okay, so this is for your convenience, right? I want you to look at this. Remember when we did this a couple of months back? This right here is for your convenience. Everything. And you know what? And when things are sold to us as being for our convenience, don't you know we have a tendency to just gobble it all up? We may play coy like a young schoolgirl in the very beginning. Zelrin Rocha, how you doing? Mike Guyver, hey, we may play coy in the very beginning. Yeah. But eventually, AI, like a very handsome suitor, persuades us to see things other way. Otherwise, that's exactly what happens. That's exactly how this works. So we're going to turn this off for a second right here, and we're going to just go here and share this with you guys. Hello. All right. Remember, this is for your convenience. They rolled it out in a foreign country. They're going to try it here. I know they are. Let's go. In spite of a reputation of backwardness and bureaucracy, India now outstrips the world when it comes to real time digital payments. Accounting for 36% of the global transactions, India made 25.5 billion such payments in 2020, compared with 15.7 billion in China and just 1.2 billion in the United States. Part of the reason for the explosion of the online activity has been the widespread adoption of the Aadhaar digital identification system. This is used by 1.3 billion people in India. The biometric ID system, which assigns every cardholder a unique 12-digit number, has helped to boost the number of mobile phone and digital bank accounts, as telecom companies and financial institutions have found it cheap and easy to authenticate customers. One of the system's chief architects and chairman of Infosys, Nandan Nalkani, said, quote, Aadhaar has laid the foundation for the digital transformation of the entire society. People are finally realizing that ID is a method of empowerment, close quote. The world's biggest ID system had a narrow remit when it was launched in 2009 by the Congress Party led government. It was introduced to ease welfare payments to India's most vulnerable, as well to reduce fraud. Now, after the citizen validates a photograph, fingerprints, and takes an iris scan, each one can claim an Aadhaar card, facilitating the access to the state benefits. But the system has subsequently been used to authorize an ever widening range of activities, from school enrollments to hospital admissions, and many private companies have taken advantage of the system as well. For the most part, Indians appear to be happy with the trade of personal data for smoother services. The 2019 State of Aadhaar report, which surveyed 167,000 people, found that 92% were satisfied with how the system worked. The benefits are incredible, Ruben Abraham, the chief executive officer of IDFC Institute, a Mumbai based think tank, highlighted the Aadhaar's role in promoting financial inclusion. He continues, it is immensely popular with people, close quote. However, a system that may work for a majority of Indians has singularly failed to work adequately for all. The state of Aadhaar report estimated that 8% of all citizens, about 102 million people, did not have cards, and 75 million of them were children. The enrollment rates were particularly low in the northeastern states, Assam with 10% and Meghalaya with 39%, among the rural poor, the homeless communities. Some 4% of respondents also mentioned errors with their cards, and it made it hard for them to correct them. The Indian media has also reported tragic loss of life, several cases of cardless individuals starving to death because they could not gain access to benefits that they were entitled to. Quote, Adhar is deeply embedded in the Indian life and works for most people most of the time. However, when it does not work, it most affects those who are already vulnerable, the report concluded. Now, some critics say that Adhar has largely failed to fulfill its original promise of improving welfare and now acts as a tool for social exclusion and corporate influence. Indian economist and social scientist Rakita Kahira says, quote, the Adhar project is a perversion of the constructive purpose of technology to be subservient to the needs of society. She continues, in an Adharless world, we would be further ahead, close quote. As we look at India and other countries around the world attempting to make one piece of identification for every transaction possible, we see that things are narrowing to one world more and more every day. For TLP Headlines with a Voice, this is Felicia Lockhart. Okay, so every single thing you think of is now at the point where it's all for your convenience, and it gets us to the place where we see that yeah, the deal is everything is for you. AI is here. We've got a card, and all it's going to take for one good is one good swack, and that card doesn't work. But do you guys remember when they were against the conversion of money, and they were against all of the Bitcoin and all that stuff? And major companies are now going that direction. That's the reason why I say this whole AI patent thing, for example, is a rolling out of the red carpet and indoctrinating your mind to the direction they want it to be, because this is exactly what they do all the time. They'll give you the precursor in another country or another problem or another issue. And then after they do that, now, hey, let's fix it. Let's tweak it. And it's for you that we do this. It's just for you. I want to take a look at another story. I want to take a look at another one. It's a little bit on the side of this, but it's all about the technology and the new stuff that's going on. I want to look at Visa because we're still dealing with technology. All right. I want to look at Visa and their currency cloud deal. Everything's for your convenience. All of this. It's all about you.
Lockhart Perspective.
Visa, the processing giant, has signed a definitive agreement to acquire cross-border remittance provider Currency Cloud. The deal is valued at 700 million lira, or $950 million, inclusive of cash and retention incentives. Both companies were already in a strategic partnership before the acquisition. Currency Cloud is also a RippleNet partner, which means it uses Ripple-made remittance tools to facilitate cross-border transactions. Currency Cloud would help Visa strengthen its foreign exchange capabilities and help the payment giant expand its cross-border remittance footprint.
Visa had recently revealed that crypto transactions on its card network have exceeded $1 billion in the first half of 2021, and the company also revealed its plans of aggressively expanding its crypto payment plans and making crypto one of the top forms of currency in use. The payment processing giant is building a fintech network with the focus on crypto transactions and digital assets use. The recent acquisition of Currency Cloud fits well within Visa's plan of improving its remittance services and focuses more on digital assets. Both Visa and MasterCard, who until a year ago blocked crypto related transactions, now see cryptocurrencies as the future of payments. Recently, MasterCard announced that it would enhance its crypto card services to enable banks and crypto companies to issue more crypto cards and remove the hurdle of crypto fiat conversion through stablecoin use. For the Lockhart Perspective and TLP Entertainment News, this is Felicia Lockhart.
So you see, everything is headed towards your convenience. It's all for you. Everything is all for you. They're even involved in stuff with AI that AI should not have anything to do with. All the way down to, I hope there are no children around, intercourse. They're dragging AI into everything. Please, please, please allow me to to show you. Please, please. Don't take my word for it. Allow me to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Here you are. I've known about this story for quite some time. And I have always thought that it was for a purpose. Okay? It's always about your health. That's right, Angela. It's all about your health. Okay? It's all about your health. It's all about your convenience. But above all, Rusty, it's all about control. It's all about control. British Smart Condom counts the number of thrusts, calories burned. Okay. Where is it about you here? Well, the calories burned, of course. Well, you're concerned about the calories, your caloric intake. You may have taken in too much. And here we want to show you that we care. We want to show you that we care. Yeah. So let's see how. Oh, by the way, this was 2017. A British company is offering pre orders for a smart condom that measures, among other things, how many calories are burned during a rendezvous. British Condoms said the Icon, billed as the world's first smart condom, is actually a ring that goes over the normal condom to take Fitbit like measurements during rendezvous. The device measures factors including calories burned during an encounter, the girth of the gentleman, the average temperature of the gentleman's organ during his rendezvous, the number of frequencies, the number of different positions employed during a session. Do we not know what this really is? Oh, but it's for you to have your calories counted because we care. No, they're trying to mimic men. So that way, like the other AI stuff that's out there in the world where they can go and marry a bot or whatnot, a man could just, order him a bot from China. This is what's going on. You guys could be seeing people and don't even know that they're not even human because they have now figured out a way to count all the way down to something like this. The user can use the device's Bluetooth connectivity to download the stats after use and see how they stack up to other icon owners. So now, the cat that used to be able to count the notches and the guys that used to be in competition with each other, They don't have to worry about that. I mean, they still have a place in this world. So the guys used to say, well, I've had 10 women. Well, I've had 30 women. I'm Wilt Chamberlain. They don't have to worry. They don't have to worry. There is something for all of them. They can still do what they've been doing. We are in the final stages of testing Icon. And we are aiming, I'm sure they intended for that pun to be there, for general publication release in 2017. So let's go to the company's website. Because there was another company that was in on this too, that did this as well. I'm over here. I'm looking. I don't want to show this. Wow. Wow. Huh. Wow. Okay. Yeah, this is the Brits are cheeky fellows, aren't they? The Brits. The Brits are cheeky fellows. Yeah, that's one of their websites. Oh yeah, intermingling. Oh yeah, intermingling. Let's look at some of the comments here. Ali Power says, "My goodness. Oh my. Just when you thought you've heard everything," Joy says. Right at Joy, Rusty's in agreement. Exactly. Westworld on HBO. That's right. Way too nosy for me. You see? Look up robotic sperm and pregnant robots. Wow. Wow. The kookiness. Mike's B. Borrowed says, yes, at Mike. Zelrin, let's calculate your sins. Come on now. Hope it's not reusable, sick thought. Probably is, Joy, Zelrin says. The separating the wheat from the tare. So do you see how they want to control every single thing? Everything that Yah created, they try to duplicate it. Control. They are next level with this invasion. As long as you do not force it on me. Wow. But you see, you know what? I'm going to use this, and no offense to anybody. But do we see how that phrase has now painted us into a corner when all we just want to do is be left alone? You know what I'm saying? It's like, just let me grow my vegetables. Just let me grow my fruit. Just let me have my fruit trees. Just let me have my little chickens. Just leave me alone. Just leave us alone. But do you see that it is all of the nerds? I say this all the time. All of the nerds that have gotten together, they want to depop. They want to take away people because, we can't fight them alone. They used to always stick me inside of the locker in the locker room. I would get stuck in the locker. And then when it didn't work there, they would stick me in the locker in the hallway. So now I'm upset. And now what I'm going to do is, now that I'm rich, and now that all I can do is play with my computer in my room, and I was a child and I've created so much software and I'm filthy rich now, I am going to get all of them, but I got to get rid of some of them first. Then me and my Revenge of the Nerds friends can just come out and we can take advantage of all of them. That's what we can do. We can take advantage of all of them. Lambda, 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 and Omega Mu. That's exactly what's going on. That's what the deal is. Now, what do we got? You know what we have now? Now we have a whole lot of folks who have always felt like they were the underdog with a whole lot of money and a bunch of ingenuity. a bunch of ingenuity, time on their hands. The nerds, that's right. But now the nerds. You were typing it? Lambda, 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 and omega mu. Just leave us alone. That's right. But the deal is that this is what's going on. The deal is you got everybody that couldn't really hang. You know what I'm saying? And even though they couldn't really hang, cool. But these cats have gone a totally different way, and they've united forces with others. And they know that they can't get the bully in the yard by themselves. So what they do is they use this, which is what we always teach our kids: use your head to outsmart a bully. Well, they've taken them up on it, and now we're all running for cover, because even though we're the ones that said, hey, leave him alone, they don't care. They're now mind blown. Okay? Okay? There you go. My brother says, so all of this is the jocks and the preps' fault. Every inch of it. For every wedgie y'all gave that dude. Is he going to be your friend now? Oh, perfect. Nevermore. You know, one of my favorite authors, Edgar Allan Poe. Nevermore. Is he going to be your friend now? Nevermore. Is he going to stop putting you in the locker? Nevermore. No. So that's exactly what's going on. What they've done is they've taken the knowledge and the information that they have gleaned with their bitter selves, and they've turned it around, and now this is what they're doing. Now, somebody else would also say, no, they were born to do this. They were bred to do this. This is what their families, this is what their families, reared them to do. Yeah. This goes back before his father and first cousin got married and created him. Some would say that. All right? The corrupted nerds are the dangerous ones. Right, Onyx? Right, sis? Okay? And the pies slammed in Gates' face. That's right. So happy that I didn't bully people. I fought for the underdog. So maybe they'll remember that. No, because see, what happens is just like which show? You guys know that I like the oh goodness gracious. There was what was his name? The Joker. And remember how the Joker started on this last one, how they allowed you to have such sympathy for the Joker. And it was the Joker or the Riddler. I think it was the Joker, right? It was Joker, you guys. It was Joker. I'm tripping. It's definitely Joker. He started out as this kid who just had a problem, and his father was terrible and horrible or whatever. But what he ended up doing was he snapped one day. And once he snapped and cut his face, that was it. A lot of these cats are like that. Ronnie says we're living in a bad episode of Weird Science and the Revenge of the Nerds. Okay? So in that movie, was it yeah, it was him. I think it was the Joker or the Riddler. Whichever one it was, he was an excellent actor, and he was supposed to be a clown. And one of the clowns turned him in. It was the Joker. Yeah. But that cat played his behind off on that role. He really did. He brought you into the character. He brought you into the psyche. He brought you into how a bow can break. When you understand that a bow is so important, that the person's mind, the person's bow is so important. We, Onyx and I were just talking with some people the other day. And to understand how a bow can break, it starts so. When you see somebody who's broken, it starts so way back. so long ago. And there are children who are being raised by parents who are breaking their vow. The parents are breaking the vow. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. But it's all a part of how society sort of gears. It's all a part of how society wants it to be. It's all a part of how the plan is. And that's exactly what's going on right now when we consider the whole artificial intelligence, the whole WEF, back when we had 2021, Agenda 2021, Agenda 2030, Agenda 2050, and every other agenda there is, but Yah has a plan. And it don't matter what else you can do, how else you can harm the physical body. He has a plan. He has a plan. And all you got to do, that's right, early on, all you got to do is hitch on to him. Now, I ain't going to say that ain't no crazy stuff going to happen in this world, because you going to have to tuck and roll. You're going to have to tuck your head and roll, because I had to tuck and roll. Onyx had to tuck and roll. Joy had to tuck and roll. Mike had to tuck and roll. All of us have had to tuck and roll. But when we trust him, even though we may end up sort of Bakatani, because I know I'm a little kooky out there. Hey, but it's all right. If you know me, you love me. If you know me, you know I'm here for you. Even some of us can end up being of use to somebody because of what we may have experienced or what we may have gone through. So no matter what they try to do, no matter how many artificial this or artificial that they have going on, they can never be him. And that's the goal. You see, the goal truly and honestly is to know everything, to know where you're going, to know how you're getting there, to know to limit how far you can go. Because you can't go far in an electric car. I don't care what anybody says. The electric car issue is going to be a nightmare. I guarantee it. We don't have neither the infrastructure. We have given away all of the natural resources that it would take to charge them, to keep them going forever. You guys just saw the story we did on Headlines with a Voice the other day, where we were talking about the battery. They had given up the battery patent. That wasn't here. That was on Headlines. Right? Well, he had given up the entire patent. We had just sold it out. You and I paid for it. But now China has it, and China makes the biggest batteries now. Those batteries that they were using that can power a house for 30 years. And the way that the story was given to us was, well, first it was over here, and then we gave it to this company, and this company made it, but then this company had applied for the patent. Well, then we sent an email to say, are you sure? And they said, yeah. And so they got it. Now it's China's, and now... So no matter what their goal is, to see where you're going, to know how you're getting there, to prevent you from being able to travel long distances in your car by making you have an electric car. Nothing wrong with having an electric car, but you better have a gas one with a carburetor in it. Duh. Yeah, you need that. Every single thing that they're doing is to control you. To include, thank you guys, because we're going to be covering the line. We are, somebody over on, when I was doing a show over on Headlines with a Voice, in the end, I went over and looked at the video and somebody said, oh, you should cover the line. And then somebody responded, oh yeah, she should cover the line. And baby, I've been pulling research together ever since. I really want to see if Ronnie.d.Mann wants to work with me on this one, because what I started to do, even though I took it and I looked at it, I started looking at it. Hey, Patrick Bryant. I started looking at it as, how does this play in the end time? And what is the significance of Saudi Arabia in all of this? So that's what I really want to do. That's what we're going to do. We're looking at it from that standpoint. Okay? All right. Oh, yeah, the battery does cost more than the car when you have to replace it. Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to get into some of you all's comments. So let me go ahead and switch out my avatar so I can. Okay, come on. There we go. There we are. Oh, we love you too, sister. I got to get to work. I look forward to the next time. Thank you so very much for your love offering. I so appreciate you. You have a super duper day. You guys go over, if you have Instagram, please go to Onyx Monopoly's, her page. Let me show it to you guys. She's gonna leave, but I still want to show you guys her page, because I want you to go over there and I want you to subscribe. She's doing a lot of good and she's helping a lot of people, and she is my sister. So there's that. Okay. So here it is. I'm going to show you guys her page. All right. And I want you guys to go over and I want you to please subscribe. All right. And then I want you to check out some of the things that she's got going on, because she's got a lot on the ball. A lot on the ball. I mean, here's a giveaway you might be interested in. Let me see. Am I here? Yeah. Here's a giveaway that you might be interested in. Onyx Monopoly's Prepper Lake City presents the first annual holiday Drive Away and a Blessing food and gift drive. Donate non-perishable food baskets and or unwrapped gifts for an entry to win a 2018 Cadillac Escalade. And if you don't have one now, that's a nice one. This was put up 2 weeks ago. So you guys are in this area. Is anybody in the Salt Lake City area? Is there anybody in the area that's near it? Well, consider it. Check it out. She does a lot of good. She does a lot of good stuff in the community, and just, I can't even, I mean, if I tried, I don't think I could tell you everything. So I'm just going to read a couple of things. Now she's going to leave, but I just want to tell you, she is the owner of Onyx Monopoly Medical Group. It's the Onyx Medical Group, right? So she had just recently a technology and science seminar that was brought to you by her company. She also is the maker of, let me see if we can find it here, because I was amazed. She's pretty and intelligent. Okay? All right? I'm trying to show you guys this. PPE. She's got a PPE company. She has a PPE company that literally protects your business and it protects your establishment from pathogens, major pathogens. Some that we can't even say here, but y'all know what I mean. Yeah. So go there and check it out. All right. Go to her channel and check it out. When I say she does a lot of good stuff for the community, she does. She reaches out, she reaches back, she reaches down and pulls up. This is the machine here. Okay, this is her machine. All right. I'm going to read this a little bit to you guys. I hope that you guys can see it. Let me double check. I want to make sure. Okay, yeah, you can. Okay, you can. All right. Here you go. I would like to introduce our Onyx Smart Mist Disinfecting System, a solution to killing deadly viruses that has become our reality. You now have the power to disinfect and protect your valuable space. We offer the next level of disinfection in the wake of the C-19 pandemic. Our system adds another layer of protection with its wide coverage of your business
offices, homes, restaurants, events, and so much more. The Onyx Smart Disinfecting System was developed with the optical or ergonomic design to prevent an inflow of bacteria and viruses. It also equipped it's also equipped with a motion sensor option that detects, sprays, and disinfects only when users approach the system. Isn't that outstanding? The system has an ultrasonic vibrating automation method that sprays eco-friendly disinfectant and releases an ultra-fine mist which sterilizes consistently, and silently. We will be donating 10 of our systems valued over $15,000 each to deserving individuals, businesses, or organizations that are nominated. Now, this is several weeks ago, so don't try to do the nomination now, but listen, we're currently in over 200 locations and growing. For an opportunity to receive one of our devices or nominate someone, share your story. And all the information is here. Okay? So that's what she does. That's what she does. So please go over to onyx.monopoly on IG, follow her, and you'll also be able to follow what she's got going on and where you can find her next. Okay? All right. So I appreciate each and every one of you. And you'll do me a big favor by doing that, because I like people that are doing things for the system. Yes, for people. Yes, she's here. Oh, she was. She just left, though. Is there a link to this chat for Onyx system? I can, a link to the website? Sure. Let me go on over here and do that for you guys. I can do that for you guys. Okay, let me close out of here. Let me see what I can find. Oh, let me see. What is this? Let me see. Is this it? Okay. I'm going to get that information and put it in the community tab. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get a lot of information and put it in the community tab. So that way you guys all have it. You guys can share it with others. Onyx Unlimited. Okay, this is this one. I'm going to give you guys this link. Okay. I'm going to give you guys the Instagram links. And that way you guys can follow and trace those. All right. Hey, Scan family. Okay, that's one. And let me go and grab the other one for you guys. Okay. All right. So you guys have that. That's the first one. Let me go over here and get this one for you. Oh, here it is. Duh. Here's the Onyx Medical Group. So you can start here on her page. And then once you go on the page, you can then go ahead and click down there. All right. There you go. So now here's the deal. Let's unpack this. Let's unpack this. This is an outstanding situation because when you consider everything that's going on around you, this protects. Okay? That machine by itself protects. Okay? So this is what she does. This is it. This is this is the machine right there. Look how sleek that is. Can you imagine if you had a church, or if you had an organization, or if you had a gym for the kids, or, anything like that, schools, you know what I'm saying? These would be outstanding. You can have it at a barbershop. Here, you can feel safe when you get your hair cut. Adding an extra layer of protection with Onyx Smart Misting System. You can put these machines anywhere, and they're very quiet. I think it's smashing. I think it's outstanding. I think it's wonderful.
Okay. Yeah, she's on. No, she's everywhere. As soon as you take that and click it, you'll follow. You can follow it. Okay. So I appreciate each and every one of you. As Ronnie has said here, to further support this channel, please hit the like button. That will definitely help us with the algorithm. And if you do have the opportunity to share, please share if you can. I know that I would be so happy if you would. How about that? Yeah. So if you can share it with somebody, share it with somebody. All right. Make sure that you do check and make sure that you are still subscribed. All right. Because some cattywampusness can go on if you don't. Make sure you're still subscribed. Make sure that that button is still clicked. And remember what we always say on any Felicia Lockhart Group publications, and that is that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Most High. You guys take care of yourselves and remember to take care of one another. And until we see each other again, please continue to be blessed.
To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Helping